have
us
a
know.
do you have a way about going at this, Dennis? Or yeah,
Yes, usually, so with my experience, actually, let me give you a quick background of what I really do. So I've been a real filmmaker here in the Philippines before I went online. So I used to be a documentary filmmaker,
okay.
all of the lighting, did a lot of interviews as well inside of the documentaries. So, that's a thing that I was able to mercifully bring online with my clients by helping them also set up their studios. And I've been doing that on and off also, even locally here as well as abroad. So a lot of the questions that people often ask me is, if they're doing it for the first time, how do they set up their first um, studio for recording? So yeah, the questions I sent you are actually the same process. I'm just actually going to go over them. And if you can, if you have like another phone right now, like even mobile, you can have it join the Zoom call that we have right now so that you can show me around this space. So
Oh, okay.
that,
Yep.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah, and
And
maybe
you said you also had somebody joining us?
not today. No, not today. But I would like you to work with my associate as well. Um, and it's not, I think maybe I'll back up a bit, Dennis. It's not just setting up the room and the lighting that
Mm-hmm,
I'm
mm-hmm,
interested in you for. I'd like to talk about how you could help us by working with our copywriter and our
mm-hmm.
website and Kajabi builder and create create videos that are going to support our branding effort and to support we'll do a bunch of videos in this first half of this year, but I'd like something that is timeless and something that is going to be able to kind of grow with us over time.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
I'm just in my home office. We have a couple of brick and mortar offices we could use, but I think I'd like either you or Hazer or Jules, the copywriter that we hope to use, to kind of tell me what to do as well as me asking you questions about how to do this right. Um, does that make sense?
Yeah, no worries. So I really just actually came in at a time where all I actually got from Hazel so far was that you were looking for help with the setting up. So with that being said, I actually do much more than just setting up. Like I said, like I did the whole filmmaking gamut, right? So from start to finish. But that was what I came into. So yeah, of course, I'd love to know more about your business, what your plans are, and how I can help move forward. Yeah, there's an echo there
Sorry,
too.
hang on just a sec.
Yeah, no worries. Just make sure that the other, like your phone is on mute and your speaker on your phone is also turned way down, like possibly if you can turn it off so that yeah, you don't have like feedback.
That should do it.
Yeah,
No,
that's
no,
fine.
no.
Still there.
That is
Oh,
not.
wait. So if you're on your computer, I think it's easier on your computer. So turn down your speakers on your computer and
Okay.
also your microphone so that only your phone has the mic
Yeah,
turned
hang on a
on.
sec. I can't hear you right now, so hang on just a sec. So I'm gonna listen to you on my phone.
Hmm.
Okay. Go ahead and say something now.
Testing. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, I'm
Can you
just
hear me?
getting you.
Okay, is this better?
I can hear you. I got a wicked echo though. That's not working.
Hmm.
So I'm just gonna hang up on this for a little bit. We can try again.
Okay.
That and then turn up my volume here. Sorry about that. Okay, am I back? Yeah.
You're back, yes.
Okay. So I can show you around, for sure, tell you what I typically do in a minute. But I did want to just make
Okay.
sure that you know that I'm interested in more than just a few brief consultations, that I'd like to get some of your
Oh,
advice.
okay.
Like what is the best way to do these videos? And I can tell you more about what we're doing.
Hmm.
And I'm happy to pay for your time as I bring you up to speed about who we are and what we're trying to do as well. Um,
Great. So, yeah, first of all, I did get to see your website based on your email address and some of the things that Hazel mentioned, but um, from you, like from just so that I have a really good baseline of where everything is headed. Um, yeah, what do you love the most about what you do, and how do you plan to spread your message?
yeah. So we're traditional consultants and coaches. So we do mostly leadership and organizational coaching in individual clients and with cohorts. And been I think Centerpoint's maybe 25 years old. I've been doing this kind of work for about 40 years. So it's kind of what I
Wow.
do. And I kind of started the coaching before there were coaches. We didn't even call it coaching back when I started. Um, so I have my own flavor and my own style. And my associate is quite similar to me in that way as well. But the basics of it is that we help our clients figure out where they're starting in terms of their leadership. And then we do psychometric assessments, we do 360-degree feedback tools to get to get if you were a client, so you know kind of what your personality is and you can articulate that better, you know how that fits with other people, and you also get information about how other people that you that report to you and that you work with, how they perceive you in a bunch of different ways around leadership. And that's how we start to help you figure out kind of where your starting point is as a leader. And then we help you figure out where you want to get to. Like, what are your goals? Do you want like world conquest, or do you just want to be a better listener? Right. And so whatever that goal is for you, or series of goals, that creates a gap between where you're at and where you want to get to. And we call that a gap analysis. And then our job is to help you bridge the gap from where you're at to where you're going. Okay. So what's different about this from most coaches and trainers is that we don't know what our client needs when the client signs up, right?
Oh,
So
okay.
right. So I'm not showing up telling everybody they all need to do the 7 things to be better leaders. Like, I don't know if you need to be a better listener. Maybe you need to be a better speaker, right? And maybe you need to make quicker decisions, but maybe you need to make slower decisions. Maybe you need to
Okay.
do more delegation to your team, but maybe you don't. Maybe like there's so many different variables, and
Yeah.
you as the client is the biggest variable in our work, right? So
Yeah.
if you're a raving extrovert and a control freak, you're going to have a different starting point than the person who's a prime out of their shell introvert that doesn't like to get into the details, right? Those are very different people. So why would I teach them the same thing? Basically,
Okay.
is my approach.
But is the modality the same when you do the teaching, or is it like
Yeah,
you slow down for certain kinds of personality? I'm reminded of the Clifton Strengths sort of
yeah. I'm familiar with
assessments, and
strength.
then
Yep,
starting from there, you change how you approach that learner. Is that
yeah,
a
yep.
fair
That's
assessment
good.
so
Yeah.
far?
It is. Yep. And another unique thing about us is our clients very rarely are paying us for our work. It's usually their organizations that are paying us to develop Bob into a better leader, for example. So we call the client and the organization the sponsor, right? So they're paying for us to help Bob become a better leader, but Bob's the client. And so a lot of coaches that do our kind of work The client is Coca-Cola, and they just happen to be working with Bob at this time, but they're really driving Coca-Cola's agenda. And for us, we're driving Bob's agenda. And even if it's that he just wants to do less work and retire healthy in the next 18 months, okay, that's his agenda. That's what he wants to do.
So
Okay.
it's
So
like a balance of the sponsor and the person undergoing the leadership training or
yeah,
the
I'm not even sure
transformation.
I'd say it much of a balance. It's really the sponsor pays the bill and
Hmm.
Bob is the client. Um,
Okay.
and yeah, it's pretty straightforward. There are a few exceptions that we negotiate in advance, but if there's no advanced negotiations, Bob has a confidential relationship with us. We don't tell Coca-Cola how he's
Okay.
doing. We don't say that he's frustrated with his boss. We don't say that he wants to move to Pepsi. We don't talk to him about it. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Um,
So yeah,
so
thank you for that intro.
yeah,
I
it's
can
that's
see
one
where,
part of it. There's
yeah.
another part of it that you need to know about is so that's most of our work, the leadership development. But we do two other kinds of work. One is not relevant to you, and that is
Hmm.
we're clinical counselors. So we do therapy with public safety professionals, cops and firefighters and dispatchers. That's
Hmm.
a small part of our work, and you don't need to know about that. But part that
Hmm.
we do that you need to know about is we do career work. We help people develop in their careers. And sometimes that means that Bob is leaving Coca-Cola and Coke is paying us to help him join another company, outplacement or right sizing or career consulting, whatever you want to call that. But other times, just within Coca-Cola, Bob is trying to develop his career and get promoted or move over to that division or this division. And we do work with him. We do that kind of work as well. But that's not the same gap analysis focused. We're
Hmm.
much more directional. If you want to get, if you're a senior manager in Coca Cola, there are some things you need to do to get ready to promote, right? And so it's more of a training approach that we take. We tell people how to prepare themselves. We're pretty soft about it, but there's definitely a flow of things to do. Where on the coaching leadership development, we never know what we're going to be talking about in the next meeting. It's totally dependent on where the client is.
Hmm.
So as Hazel is developing, so there's two things that you would be involved with: the development of the website for all of our work and the development of the first Kajabi course, which is going to be called something like the Promotion Readiness Program. And that is
Mm.
this second thing. It's not the coaching for leadership development. It's a program that we're going to tell Bob how to get himself promoted.
Okay.
Okay, everything from how to get the right experiences to how to prepare the night before the interview and everything in between.
So this specific part is more structured than what you
Yes,
mentioned about
that's a
Bob
great
and
word. Yep.
Coca-Cola.
Yep. And we
Okay.
decided to start with this with Hazel and Kajabi because I found that Kajabi does a lot of what I want it to do, but it needs structure in the courses. It wants to have a structured course. In the
Mhm.
leadership development work that I do and that Alyssa, my associate, does, there's not much structure to it. So Kajabi doesn't really know what to do with it at this point. So we're going to start with this PRP, the Promotion Readiness Program. And then my plan is to develop another new leadership development program that will be more structured. And we'll probably do that towards the end of this year, depending on how fast things go and how busy I am. So your first places to help us are how to do videos for the website, which will probably just be one video of me and one video of Alyssa put
Mhm.
together into one kind of welcome to Centerpoint video on the
Okay.
website
I've
when you
done
land
that.
on the
Yeah.
website. And then the bigger one is creating videos for this promotion readiness program. And there's probably, I don't know, maybe there'll be 10 videos something between, yeah, I would guess there'd probably be around 10 videos of between 2 and 5 minutes each, something like that, about these different steps to how to get yourself ready. There'll be written material that the copywriter will be helping us with, and there's some graphic material as well that Bob will be able to look at. But we also want him to have a video explaining this step that we're at, and also explaining the whole program at the beginning as well.
Great. So as far as all of the material is concerned, you already have that. Um, is that already prepared or ready to be
So I
filmed, or
have
just about, developing
I've
it?
got the promotion readiness program. It's like a workbook, and I do workshops, right? And PowerPoint slides. But Jules, the copywriter, will be taking that and creating it into the material for the Kajabi course, right? So we don't have that yet, but I do have the material for the program in a workbook and PowerPoint slides. I'll be doing a brief edit of that before I give it to Jules.
Okay. So at this specific point, with regards to my role, it's all about the first setup and then also the production of the videos, right? Um, can I
Yeah.
ask if like how I can work with is Hazel doing the editing? What's the plan
Yep.
for that? Like, is
Yeah,
she
Hazel
also?
has she's doing the overall graphics work and the
Mhm.
Kajabi course and the website in Kajabi, and our CRM she's moving into Kajabi. And then Jules is going to do all the copywriting if we use her. I actually meet with her after you. But I
Mhm.
have met with her already once, so I'm hopeful that that's going to go. And then I'm sorry, I forgot your question.
Yeah, just thank you for that. Actually, that was what I was looking for. So
Okay.
I
Okay.
can then coordinate with Hazel and just see where I can help. So I want to make sure that I don't overlap with any of what she's already doing because
Got
like
it.
I said, as a like a as a person who also has been involved with full productions from start to finish. I want to work well with people, not to invade their
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
what they're doing already. Okay,
And
so in
and then
that,
on
yeah.
that point as well, Dennis, is I just talked to Hazel and her team members on Friday, and I
Mhm.
was really clear. I don't want to have to organize this and get everybody
Oh yeah,
pointed in
yeah,
the same direction. So it sounds like she's going to take that on, she and her team.
great,
And she says she's more than happy and would like to work closely with you, and more than happy and would like to work closely with the copywriter as well.
great,
I just need
awesome,
somebody
awesome.
to tell me what to do.
You got it. So
Okay.
when it comes to video, yeah, I can be that person to tell you what to do. And sometimes, just as a sort of a heads up, I can be a bit sort of pushy if you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing with the videos.
Okay.
So, yeah, it comes from my background as a director. So, I'm used to telling people, hey, you do this. Okay, so let's
I actually
go
would love it
first.
if you were the director, as long as I trust your vision, as long as I
Mhm.
know how you're trying to get us from here to that kind
Yeah,
of and support on the videos. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, we'll
yeah.
be good.
Because as far as and you can correct me, of course, if I'm wrong, but as far as you're explaining, the visuals that I'm seeing in my head is something just like, very well produced videos that can stand the test of time
Yeah,
because a lot of the videos that are produced right now, like if you shoot them, a lot of the videos that we see are disposable, right? Most of the if you have mobile phone cameras that are just low quality, they tend to they don't age well over time. So especially if it's for promotion readiness, that some of them are they can last long as nothing changes. then we could have like a classic setup where you can have you have your own studio, right? Like how big is your space? Maybe we can start with that. And
Yeah.
after that, as far as scripting is concerned, because you have the material, you already have somebody doing the scripts. Do you prefer speaking directly on camera with bullets, or are you a guy who likes to follow a teleprompter? What's your
Well, first of all, I don't like speaking into anything that's recording me. I do a lot of work on Zoom. Almost all my work is on Zoom. So I'm comfortable with this,
Mhm,
answering questions and having a dialogue on Zoom. What I know I'm not yet comfortable with is just talking to the camera with nobody there. Um, I don't think it would be good for me to have a script. I think I would use bullets. I'm pretty
mhm,
competent about the material that I'm using. And if I just had 3 or 4 bullets for each 2-minute video, I think I'd just wing it from there and
okay.
do several recordings, and then the editor can grab the best of the different versions. I think, but
Mhm,
I'd be open to what you think. But one thing I do want to add, so when you talked about like high quality and timeless videos,
mhm,
yes and yes. The other thing that I'd add is that no doubt we will be taking a video out and replacing it with something
mhm.
else in 2 years, or adding more videos to the
Yeah.
top or bottom of the list, or doing
Mhm,
another program like this or that. So I don't know if that means that we want to have everything green screen and totally portable so we can do it anytime, anywhere, or whether we just start by doing it all over the place with all different versions and stuff. So there is no expectation of, oh wow, that didn't fit. Um,
Well,
so I
for
the
for
direction on.
starters, so I'm drawing on some experience where I actually set up educational companies recording room for their lessons. So we did actually end up creating a set for them, essentially because it was for kids content, and we were recording the teachers, um sort of make it look and feel like a
The classroom.
real set is behind them. Because if it's a green screen, of course it can look good, but the thing with the green screen is you still have that feeling that, like there is something that's, moving outside of your
Yeah,
outline sometimes, if
yeah.
you look at it. So, here, let me show you some of the what happened. So we can do green screen, actually. That's the most cost effective option. But if you really want something that, like I said, is more timeless, um, yeah, developing a set around it would be that. So it's this, like, we were doing some work for an educational company. Let me know if you can see my screen. It's a bit
Yeah, I
blurred
got it.
at
Yep, yep.
blurred at the moment. But yeah, some of the setups that are, like, for example, this one, we had this kind of setup, but again, this is overkill for starters. Like, this
Mm-hmm.
doesn't really like work right off the bat. But then we
Mm-hmm.
can also progress to, so this one is also a teaching company where they have a lot of effects. So green screen is best for if you have a lot of motion graphics going on, if you have a lot of, you need to interact with a sort of an animation or a character that's digital. So this is where green screen shines. But if like I said, if you have in your use case, if you simply have you don't need anything that's moving in your background, like to, anything that might become
Yeah,
like sort of a distraction, I suggest that you go with something like this, like having something like a fixed thing where all you have to do, or all your colleagues have to do, is just come in, sit down, turn the camera on. That's it.
yeah.
So that's the option. Green screen is great, like I said, but there is the green screen, like what we use it for. it's usually for a lot of moving backgrounds, effects. If you need some of them like to show up in your screen, then you can plan ahead and use a green screen. But if not, so I'm asking you now, like
Yeah.
for the most part of your shooting, like in terms of percents, how often would you need some graphics behind you, or like not just backgrounds, right? We can do backgrounds anyway, but how often would you say would that be a thing in your shots?
Well, I think my favorite answer is I don't know. I think that's going to
Okay.
depend on what you and Hazel tell me to do.
Yeah. Like for example, like right now on your shot, right? So you
Yeah.
have like a background with you. If you
Yeah.
move sideways and stuff, you can see some distortion, some light
Yeah.
changing.
Yeah.
That is actually still, even if you have a professional green screen behind you,
Uh-huh.
that still can happen sometimes with the light hitting you in a different way. So it
Yeah.
becomes harder to edit, to be honest, because that very small thing sort
Uh-huh.
of disrupts the editing workflow.
And,
So
yeah, and this isn't even a green screen. This is just a blank wall behind me.
yeah,
But I do have I put the green screen up and it gave me kind of a green halo around.
yeah, there will be a halo. So like for example, like um you can even actually play with lights. Like for example, what I have right now is behind me is some sort of lights that I can change colors. Like now it's red, now it's orange, now it's blue.
Hmm.
So you can
Hmm.
do that. Like there is some flexibility with that, and then you can, as long as you have a, like what you said, a blank wall. If it's a, let's say a cream colored wall or almost white wall, then you can easily make it green like a green screen and make turn it up, and it can be greener. So you would have that kind of contrast.
Yeah. I think the only thing I feel pretty confident from our conversation is that
Mhm.
we won't have a physical space that will be the same for everything. So we
Okay.
kind of need, I think we'd maybe either like need a studio in a box kind of thing.
Hmm.
We need to be
Okay. What sort of size requirement do you have? I have something in mind. Like we can do a setup where you can just have good lighting, and then I can send you some links from Amazon that I also sent before to some of my clients where they just have there's this green screen where it's like a stand for a projector. So you pull
yeah,
it up and it folds down very, very neatly, and you just have a light
yeah.
that's really good in front of you and maybe one to the side and a good
So
microphone, and that's it.
I've got a green screen now that's on this wire thing that folds up and it kind of
Oh
springs
yeah,
out like,
yeah.
and
That's
it's
that's I have that too, yeah.
you have that. So
We
I
can
have
do
that
that.
that would fit this. I've set that up behind me here and I know that that fits. Um,
Okay.
and then, so maybe it's time for me to show you what I have in terms of
Yeah, yeah,
lights,
yeah.
stuff
Yes,
like
please.
that now. So I'll sign back in on the phone, but
Hmm.
tell me, so I should,
What you can
uh,
do is sign totally out of your computer
okay,
so that we don't have any interference
okay,
with the
that's
phone's
what I'll do.
audio.
Okay, I'll join you on my phone momentarily.
Thank you.
You got me? We can't hear you yet. Huh, I must have turned
Okay.
something. Oh, there we
Now,
go.
now, yeah,
You got me?
there you go. Can
Yeah,
hear you loud and
perfect.
clear.
Okay. So let me turn the camera around here. Here we go. Okay. So, do you want this in landscape?
Doesn't matter. Yeah, let's just
Okay.
as long as I
Okay.
have a good
So
view.
I have a MacBook Pro, and I use a tablet for my handwritten notes, and then I
Hmm.
have a separate
Another
monitor.
computer. Yeah.
Yeah, and I have an up and down desk So
Mm-hmm.
one of my thoughts would be to do it standing up at my desk. And then
Okay,
I
great.
have two adjustable lamps here.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're soft boxes, and I
Okay,
can
cool. You have
all I can
diffusers already.
yeah, I got
Nice.
diffusers. Yep, and they can warm it up. They have three settings on the lights. They go
Mm-hmm.
basically white, and then kind of a warm, and then an in between.
Oh, nice.
Um, and then I have this loud light that's just kind of bouncing off walls, just to try and brighten up the room and kind of
Mm-hmm.
soften the light up a little bit. So
Mm-hmm.
that's what I'm working with right now, and that's where that wall is where that green screen does fit if we choose to do that.
Okay,
Um,
great.
and then, but my associate, this is my house, so my associate
Mm-hmm.
does not work out of here. We
Okay.
have She works out of one of our offices downtown.
Okay.
Do you need to see
So,
anything else here before I go back to my computer?
um, I would love to know what your audio is when you're doing like actual videos. Like, what's your plan when you're doing the
Okay.
PRP videos and also for the camera? Because on the other computer, you had the MacBook's camera, right? The front-facing camera
Yeah.
for the MacBook. But I don't see any other cameras there.
No, I've used my iPhone on a tripod, and I've used the camera on the MacBook Pro.
Mm-hmm.
I have a DSLR, a Nikon with good lenses on it. If we wanted to
Okay,
do
great.
that, um, so we could do that. And then
Mm-hmm.
I've got a little. I can't find a little lapel
Okay.
clip on. No, it's not even a lapel. It just plugs right into my iPhone into like a lightning port, so it doesn't
Okay.
even have a wire on it. It's just so.
So the recording goes directly to the phone, right?
Yep,
Okay. Yeah, so it's just like lightning to mic kind of setting.
there you go.
Okay. Okay,
Okay, can I
so
hang up here and I'll join you?
yes, yeah, you can come back now. Thank you.
Okay, back.
Okay. Actually, your image right now looks great. Are you affected sometimes by the light that's in front of your window that I saw on the far end?
I
Does
am.
it
I
affect your
got
lighting situation?
and you can see on my glasses a real
Glasses, yeah.
reflection. Yeah. So, but usually I'm right about this orientation. So I've got it. So I think most of the time it's pretty good. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, the time of day does make a difference. I have diffusing shades on the windows that I generally will pull down when I'm talking with clients, but
Mm-hmm.
it would still
Yeah.
create of that. I could just put a blanket over it and block them out. It's not a problem.
So if when you're explaining stuff, if you move your head around, can let me see if some of the reflections from your lighting, because you have two lights here, right? Are they
Yeah.
showing? Let me see if they're showing up. They can show up. How large
Yes.
of an issue is that for you? Like
The places where I'd usually be is I'd either be talking right to the client like this. I'd be at my notes,
Mhm.
either writing or reading or drawing and then referring back. And then sometimes I'm up here when I share a screen, particularly, it'll be up
Yeah,
here. There'll be a particular
yeah,
tool that I'm using over here.
yeah. I can see some reflections when you're moving. How big of an issue is that? Like how much do you need that to be like gone for the PRP videos? Not
You
an
know,
issue?
yeah, I think we're back to the question of quality. It doesn't it doesn't need to be Hollywood, and it doesn't need to be,
Okay.
it needs to be, usually the way I describe our look and feel is it's a
Mm,
Honda Civic or a Honda
okay.
Accord. It's like
Okay.
it's simple, it's
Reliable.
quality, it's really good value. There's nothing fancy about it. Um, yeah,
Okay.
does it make
So for
sense?
the camera, like you said, you wanted portable, so the Nikon and setting up the lenses and changing up wires every so often, that becomes a hard thing to do. So are you going to use your iPhone or your MacBook for the most part for the filming?
Well, if you told me there would be like nobody's going to watch this on anything bigger than a in a 16-inch screen, right? It's not like this
Hmm.
is going to be cinematic for sure. But
Yeah.
if you told me that I should really use the Nikon, and I've got some really nice lenses, if you
Yeah.
think I should do that, then I'll do that. But if you think, for what we're doing on a small screen, nobody's
Yeah.
going to notice the difference anyways, then,
I
and
was
you
just,
probably
wondering
tell
out
me if,
loud because sometimes like your sorry if I interrupt, Guy, but basically sometimes there is changes in your exposure all of a sudden when like when you're moving this and this
yeah, I
this way,
noticed
like
that. Yeah.
there's some sort of flickering that's happening. So yeah, we can go really, really anal about that, even that I can turn
Uh-huh.
myself like on that mode.
Yeah.
So I want to make sure that like we're on the same page, like what you mentioned. Thank you for sharing the Honda reference. But
Hmm.
okay, so we can do not the Nikons, but how comfortable are you with operating them when you're shooting videos all the time? Like, what's
Well,
your
it'd be a
comfort
lot
level when it
easier.
comes to?
It'd be a lot easier if I was just using the MacBook or the
Mhm.
phone. But yeah, no, I've taken pictures on that on the
Okay,
Nikon for years.
so now I'm starting to actually move towards the iPhone because at least on the iPhone you can manually stop the exposure from moving. With the MacBook, it's kind of
Oh,
hard to just depend on the camera. There's no controls really with the camera on the MacBook. You can't access anything.
uh-huh. Uh-huh.
So I'm trending towards
Okay.
getting you on the iPhone, just having a stable thing right there in front of
Mhm.
you. And then, so since your desk is large and you have a standing desk, you can just maybe put another smaller tripod just behind your MacBook Pro, just so that it's sort of still in your eye line when you're looking at the person you're talking to. So I think this is a good compromise because with the iPhone you can essentially just lock your exposure. You can use your iPhone as a camera, right? So
Yeah. So lock the exposure,
mhm.
but not the focus.
The
Or
focus and exposure, sorry. So the focus shouldn't move as well, but it's usually on default locked on focus with
okay.
when you're not in photo mode inside of the iPhone.
Okay.
You have a iPhone, I would guess maybe a 14, 15.
Yeah, I think it's a 14. Yeah. But if you told me
Okay,
there
yeah,
was
so
you get a newer one, I could do that.
yeah, usually the newest ones, not so much of a leap in quality anyway.
Okay. Okay. And this
Okay,
way,
so for
Alyssa can do
audio,
her as well. She can use her iPhone and do her
okay,
own as
great.
well. Yeah.
For audio, what's your sound quality in the room like? Do you get interruptions? Like, I saw your carpet, so that's good. Saw some padding on the wall, that's good. I saw that you had some curtains a bit to the side. You just
Mm-hmm.
need to close them.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and the way you're talking right now, I'm not hearing a lot of any external sounds, so that's also good. Can I confirm if your audio is generally just this way? Really clear.
Um, well, so there's a couple things. There's a little fan in the MacBook Pro that it's on right now. So there's a little bit of a whir coming from that. Um,
Okay. That's cleanable. No issue. No issue
okay.
there.
There's
You
a
can clean it.
airplane outside. Um, I would just arrange to do my videos when there's nobody making noise down the
Hmm.
hall or downstairs. Because when they are, I just put a noisemaker on, but I wouldn't want to do that if we're trying to do a clean video, I don't think. So,
Yeah, we have AI now, so a few years ago it was really hard to clean up those sounds, but now it's pretty good at isolating what it considers as noise.
okay.
So
So you
yeah,
don't think we need a fancy microphone?
I don't think so. I don't think so.
We sometimes
Because
see, the great big things in front of the bloggers and or whatever those guys
yeah.
do or whatever, but they always sound like they're I don't need to sound like that. It doesn't need to sound
Yeah.
like an F radio host at 2 in the morning kind of thing.
I can sound like that if I want to because I have
Oh, there
like
you go.
I have a setup here that's tucked away that I
Yeah.
don't really sort of show on screen, but yeah,
Yeah.
your audio sounds good. The
So
sort
the
of
audio right
the
now though is coming on the MacBook, right?
Yeah,
So did
MacBooks
you
have good audio. This is
but
where
we'll be
they
but we'll be recording on the phone, right? You were
yeah,
saying?
even better because
Oh, is it? Okay.
if you know the microphone on the phone is actually bigger than the microphone on your MacBook.
Oh, okay.
Because yeah, we both have MacBooks and we similar ecosystems. It's because it's more high quality because it's used primarily as a speaking device as opposed to the MacBook where calls are secondary to
Okay.
the computer.
Okay.
Um, so what else? Basically, so let me double check. Your comfort level is fairly high when you're operating stuff. You don't need an assistant, right?
I don't think so. I think I would just hit
Okay.
it on and go. And if I flub it, I'll just keep going. I'll
Hmm.
do it again. And
Right.
whoever's editing the video, they
Hmm.
can figure that out. I think is that the best way to go?
Yeah. So are you going to be standing up like you said, or what's the sort of like split between standing and sitting when you're filming your
Well,
videos?
yeah. So in my work, the only times I generally stand are when I'm in a workshop in a cohort with 15 to 50 people in the room, and then obviously I'm standing up. But when I'm doing my online work, I'm almost always right like this. Like this is a typical
Okay.
background I'll use, and this is my lighting, and this is my sound. I'll
Hmm.
sometimes put the desk up. And I think I'm more animated when I have the desk up. I've noticed I tend to
Yeah.
move
Well, that's
back and
true.
forth a bit
That's
more.
actually true. Have more, your energy is more attuned
Yeah,
to
yeah.
when you're standing, like Tony Robbins thing.
Uh-huh.
You're
Okay.
changing your state.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
So your typical. Do you have a tripod already for your 14, like your iPhone
Yeah, dude.
14, where
Yep.
if you can do that, where even if it's sort of set up right, like on portrait mode, or even if it's on landscape mode, it has direct access to the power continuously on, so you don't have any battery issues.
Okay.
Okay. So when you're filming, and I'm going to write down all of the recommendations after this, but when you're filming, you're gonna need to turn on airplane mode so that no calls come in, no notifications come on, pop up, so that it doesn't interrupt your train of thought.
Okay.
And when it comes to filming, are you going to, like you said, 2 to 5 minutes, some of them, um, you're not going to change any like no major changes, right? Just same attire, like like some other classes that I've seen like in master class, right? Like they change a lot of clothing, nothing like that.
Well, this goes back to like when we do the PRP,
Mm-hmm.
we'll do all the videos at once over a couple days, I would imagine.
Mm.
But in 6 months, I might change one of the videos because
Okay.
I want to do it differently or I want to add to it, and then we'll be doing different courses. So I
Mm-hmm.
think I'm interested in your advice about
Okay.
should I if I'm doing 10 videos, should I wear five different outfits as I do them and change my glasses and like shave or whatever, like just so it looks like they've come over time, or
Yeah.
should I, or what? What should I do?
So for the PRP, I would imagine because, if it's a program that like needs to last longer, like, like the shelf life of that program, if it needs to stay for longer than a year, it would be better if you did some changes with your outfit so that you would look like you were filming it over time.
Okay. And everything would do will probably be geared at 5 to 15 years of shelf life.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, we need to maybe do a couple of changes just to make it fresh because over the
And
time that we've been talking together, I can sense that you're very engaging on camera already, so that won't be an issue. Some of my clients, like I said, like you said earlier, like they have different personalities, right? So they're coming in, they need help with scripts, they need help with the teleprompter. So some of them actually wrote scripts for. I don't think this is going to be necessary for you because you mentioned that you're going to just do bullets, right?
yeah.
Okay. Great. So, with that being said, I would just love to have like, you take some photos of your setup. I know that you've walked me around already, but I would just like to have a copy of them so I can compare and maybe just do a simple video on your phone. Just send it to the same email so that I can see your lighting setup. For now, what I see though, from what I can tell, you don't need a lot of equipment recommendations, no new purchases necessary. A lot of them you already have, like you even have several great lights that you have there. And your audio seems to be okay because of your carpet, and you seem to be in a part of the house where there's not a lot of traffic. Is there footsteps that can sometimes bother you during filming your stuff?
No, no, I'm on the top floor, and I'll make sure that I'm the only one around or people are being
Okay.
quiet.
Okay, so what I'm going to do next, guy, is I'm going to look online and see some setups that I think we can emulate. So here's the direction I feel that's best for your needs. So it looks like we can indeed use a green screen and we can design a background for that green screen and just expand it around your frame. What I mean is when you're talking like that, like you have a cramped shot, right? So this is your window here. But as long as you're within the green screen and you're filming with an iPhone, like a good shot, locked exposure, locked focus, lighting good, nothing changes, and then you have the green screen safely around you, even if you move, even if you have your range of motion is actually fluctuating, we can set it up where we can have a bigger frame for you in your video with a good background. So I think that's the way to go. So that as long as we can control those flickering things that happen around your hair, around your coat,
Mm-hmm.
I think that would
Mm-hmm.
be good. So yeah, I don't think can you show me your green screen just set up for a quick bit? I want to find out how large it is.
It's this is it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I've had my whole frame as it is inside the green screen. And if
Okay,
the
so right now on your okay, we have to test that with your iPhone
oh, with the
so
iPhone.
that yeah.
Okay. Does the iPhone, do you expect it would have a wider field or a
Yeah, the
narrow?
iPhone has a wide shot. Like it's three cameras, right? So it has a wide version. So we're
Yeah.
gonna use the mid camera, which where it actually has the portrait mode. It has the best sort of like lens for faces. So when you're zooming your iPhone in and out, what happens is you seamlessly switch between three cameras.
Okay.
So you would be, yeah, just try using the portrait mode, like the face, facing, like the front facing camera. That's usually the best for your face.
Front facing, like the side that the
Yeah,
screen's on, or the back,
yeah.
front. Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, that can actually mean both things, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks for clarifying. Yeah, the one
Okay.
facing your face, the face
Okay.
fronting
Yeah.
camera,
The screen side.
the
Um,
screen
but
side. Yeah.
you're saying portrait mode. I'm surprised. I thought we would be setting this up for landscape. No?
It's interchangeable basically. So I'm just used to in my head. I keep because we used iPhones a lot for portraits, so I just sort of blurted it out. But yeah,
Okay.
it could be used for either portrait or
Okay.
for
For what we're
for
doing, would you
for what we
suggest
do.
a landscape then for the?
Landscape, yeah.
Yeah.
We want because it's gonna go on a website, therefore, it has to be landscape.
Okay. Okay.
Hmm.
I have two quick questions. I think we're probably over time
Hmm.
for your scheduling. Can I throw them in at you now?
Yeah, go ahead. I have a few minutes to
Okay.
spare.
Okay. Dennis, I was wondering about whether you think we should have a second camera that
Hmm.
or a way, I don't know, could we capture anyways, do we need a second recording device? And
So
or do we
for
just
your specific needs, um, and I also filmed some cooking shows before interviews, like two people. We usually go to second camera when we need to film another subject that's also an important part of the story or the material. So in your case, because you're sharing a course that's like can be prepared, the second camera can be the B-roll. So you don't need an actual camera because for what you have, if you change your spot, like you can play around with it. If you change your spot, it doesn't really add to the story much. It's not, doesn't drive the
okay?
narrative forward. Um, because the only people who do that are people on the field, like when they're on the news, like back to
Yeah,
you on the
yeah, right,
evening
right,
news.
yeah, yeah. Okay,
So yeah.
okay. And then the other thing is, I know I'm really comfortable when I'm talking to somebody about
Mhm.
my work. It's way harder for me to just talk to this little green dot on the
Mhm.
screen. There's nobody
Okay.
there. And I was just wondering whether you would have like should I have somebody that I'm talking to? Should I
Yeah,
have
there
a
is a workaround. Yeah, that's actually a very good workaround. With some of my clients, for example, they commission me for their short form videos, right? They're very comfy talking to somebody like on a podcast, and that gets they're really animated, their
yeah,
whole body and face are lit up, like really good video, like good
yeah,
emotions, everything. Like it shows expertise clearly shows, right? Because they're not looking at a script, not looking at a camera
yeah,
like an
yeah.
inanimate object. So what you can do when you have your sessions, you can have a Zoom call, just like a normal Zoom call like we have right now, but you're talking to your MacBook, like your MacBook for practice, like just like that, and then you just shift your like what I have right now. This is actually a big camera. You can
Okay.
tell because it
Yeah,
sort of changes, right?
yeah.
So when you talk back to the camera, now you can still, have that same sort of vibe going. You
Hmm.
can still
So
easily.
should I shift between like looking
Mhm.
here and looking here and then looking here? Is that
It's
is
usually it's usually there, like for the editing, right? Because
yeah,
the the way we capture everything. So if it's on the iPhone, right? So your iPhone would be recorded. So there's a way to have the setting on the on Zoom where you can get the maximum settings for video editing. There's for the Zoom, you know, Pro accounts. you can do that so that everything's separate. Even our call, our audio is separate, our video feeds are separate, and that way you can essentially just speak to the main camera or the iPhone, essentially just it's recording separately, right? But you're so the way I guide my other clients, the MacBook, so I have a MacBook here. It's in the middle of the screen, right on top. So what you can do, like I said earlier, you can have the iPhone sort of just slightly
Mhm.
in front of the camera. It's going to obscure your screen a bit, but it's going to help with your shot. So I can make a diagram for you later where we actually did have that setup where we have a small tripod, just put it really near the small pinhole
Yeah.
of the top of the laptop. So just situate it nearby so that you're still talking directly to that person, but now you have good quality video and audio.
So are you saying there is a person on the Zoom call or not?
Yeah, yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
oh, okay. And
So
who would,
so I did I it's actually a person. Usually it's a person that you're comfortable speaking with, like being
okay.
on an interview mode. So like for
Yeah.
example the bullets, right? You can set up the bullets where it's already question form. Like when you answer, it's going to be flowing. Like
Hmm.
the question could be, what are the steps needed for a promotion in this case? So in order to be promoted, you're going to be these are the steps. So you can actually do that. Um, it's easier that way. It's more intensive with the editing because you have to cut some parts out, change it up. But I usually guide the client to speak in terms of repeating the question, just so that it's in the video.
Okay. Okay. Well, we can, uh, I'll need some help with that, I'm sure, but I'll do a couple of samples and send them to you,
Mm,
and you can
yeah,
give me some feedback, and I'll know how nervous and awkward I'm going to be without somebody actually to talk to. Um,
yeah. It,
okay.
it's it is a challenge for a lot of people, to be honest, like speaking to a camera alone.
Uh-huh.
So this has, I found, been a great workaround, like when it comes to productivity, like even just speaking with somebody for maybe 30 minutes, that can get you content that's chopped down for the rest of your, like maybe if you want to later send it out to your potential sponsors, it can help a lot, like without you worrying about how nervous you look, some of the things that you look out for when you're filming with a big camera. You don't need to feel that when you're doing
I'm
a
not sure I'm
conversation.
tracking you. I'm not sure I'm tracking. You're saying to just do one 30-minute video with like a whole bunch of stuff in it.
Yeah,
Um,
for the test is what I'm
oh,
saying,
for the
because this is getting you more comfortable with having a different camera on it. But like I said, I have to look for the videos that I'm interviewing somebody, and then later on, the output of that video is them already with the parts broken down. I have to look for it though because some of my archived files are in storage.
okay.
But yeah,
Okay.
it can be done. It can be done.
Okay. Okay. So I will send you photos of my setup, some sample video, and then you'll also have light and sound as well, just so you can
Mm,
get a sense of that. And
yeah.
I'll do. Um, you think I should do it with the green screen?
Yes.
Okay.
So that I can do a test sort of with the green screen on after editing. We can sort of just do a test run.
Okay. That sounds good. Um, So where do we go from here? I would like to get some more of your expertise. So I know I'd like to talk
Mm.
to you. Should we set up another date now?
Yeah. You
Next
can
week or
actually still
something?
go on the same link because those are the actual dates that I'm really available, like in public. So
Okay.
you can do that. And let's just schedule another call. But I think this is going in the right direction. I think I have a good feeling that, because you're not really starting from scratch. You have a lot of the equipment already needed. You don't need to buy stuff. What I was just sort of wondering coming into the call was the real goal behind the videos. So now that we have that cleared up, then we can move forward better. So the next step is actually once we have that video, I'm gonna analyze it and then gonna send you a test edit of you with the background and the iPhone recording just to test. And if you like it, we can continue with that and we can maybe refine how your setup is. Right now, it feels to me like it's a bit messy with the wires, just, like they're on the floor snaking around and stuff. Maybe we can just sort of, I don't know, I'm just being OC, but yeah. Maybe just a bit of organization so it's easy for you to move your table up and down because when you're moving your table up and down, some of the wires are used, sized for the floor that reaches the sockets. If
Mm-hmm.
if you don't have them correctly set up, it can pull on some of the tripods and
Mm-hmm.
some of the lighting. It happened to me, so that's why I'm sort of like just OC.
Okay. What I might get is a tripod that sits right on this desk. So as I go up and down, it'll go up and down with me.
Hmm. Okay, yeah, that would be better. Okay, you have any other questions, Guy? Just let me know.
How will you charge me, Dennis? I paid the one $300
Hmm. So usually
fee.
it's for the consultation. So it's still part of what I'm gonna send you, right? For the, like I said, two more follow-ups for this consultation.
Okay.
And if you do decide to want to continue working together, I can send you the actual like sort of like list of services that I have that you can pick and you can choose from
Okay.
so that you can decide if you want to move forward or just keep
Okay.
it like calls like this where we can just do touch-ups time to time, or you want more regular relationship.
Okay. That sounds great.
Thank you
Good.
so
Okay.
much,
Well,
Guy.
yeah, nice to meet you. Get some time with you. And thanks for your initial advice. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much as well. Appreciate you. Bye.
Bye-bye.